Amidst all the live-action remakes, sequels, reboots of their properties, Disney is actually gracing us with an original film just based off one of their rides starring Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt. This is my review of Jungle Cruise. Set in the Amazon River, we follow Dr. Lily Houghton as she enlists the aid of wisecracking skipper Frank Wolf to take her down the Amazon in his dilapidated boat. And together they search for a mysterious fabled tree that holds the power to heal, a discovery that could change medicine forever. Now, before I dive into my thoughts and we go down this wild cruise, I want to know if you're excited for Jungle Cruise and what is a Disneyland ride you'd like to see a movie made out of. Throw it all down there in the comments below, start the conversation, it is always the most important part. And while you're down there, if this is your first video that you're seeing from me, thank you so much for clicking on the video, thank you for checking this out. Why don't you consider clicking the subscribe button if you enjoy this video, want to see more like it. It does wonders to get the content out there and you'll join a beautiful film fan community. Jungle Cruise is an utterly delightful pulp adventure filled with fun moments, funny gags, and charismatic characters. Dwayne Johnson is the master of charisma. There's no one that holds a candle to him, and he's fantastic in this. He plays a very different character than what you might expect. Something that you need an actor like him to play this role. Otherwise, it could easily become unlikable. This dude is always sending out dad jokes. He's sending out little lies to deceive others around him. But once you find out his motivations, because there's actually some good character in this film, he becomes extremely easy to root for. He's someone who's holding in a few secrets in this film, but it's the peeling of the layers throughout the film that really works. And not only is he charismatic, not only is he really funny, seriously, 90% of the jokes hit in this film, especially because sometimes they're not supposed to hit. He gives out these jokes that are supposed to be bad, and they really are, but they become even funnier because of that. And not only is he great, Emily Blunt is a badass, an intelligent, smart, resourceful, and kick-ass lady in this film, and the two of them have sensational chemistry together. Seriously, it's become one of those actor pairings I want to see just do anything in movies. They work fantastically well together, not only when they're actually getting along, but their bitter banter throughout, constantly trying to show one another who's smarter. The constant one-upsmanship of one another is really fun, really engaging. Not to mention the direction by director Jaume Collet-Serra, who has left me even more excited for Black Adam. He shoots this film with a true sense for awe and spectacle, but always filled with wonder. The little places that we go throughout this adventure with our characters, the little maneuvers that they pull to try and run away from some of the people that are chasing them, are truly spectacular to watch. This feels like a mix of Indiana Jones with Pirates of the Caribbean, those classic sensibilities of pulp adventure serials from the 30s and the 40s. It's the closest thing we've ever gotten to an Indiana Jones film since The Last Crusade. Not to say that it is as good as an Indiana Jones film. Obviously, they use a lot of CGI in this, but the CGI is honestly fantastic. It is enthralling, some of the sequences that we see in this film. There's a sequence in the rapids that is adrenaline-fueled and filled with tension. Little moments in the jungle as we search for this mysterious place to find a tree are really well done, not only in terms of the action sequences that ensue throughout the film, but the little character moments that are sprinkled throughout that really give a new level to this film that really surprised me. Jesse Plemons is a riot playing one of the villains, Jack Whitehall, who I usually am not a fan of. He works really well as usually the punchline to most of the jokes in this film. Edgar Ramiréz is really awesome, and there's actually a really interesting mythology throughout this film that brings the whole story together and maybe sets up the future of the franchise. This film is a romp from beginning to end, delightful and charming to no end, from the heroes to the villains. The setting is so creative. I love how they used and weaponized every single bit of their story, of their mythology to their advantage. The film also looks fantastic. Not only the sun-drenched scenery when they're going down the river to find this mysterious place, but also during the night. It becomes kind of scary, kind of tense. I'm not saying it's a rated R film, but for little kids that are going to watch this, it's the really good, really fun, kind of scary that really brings kids into enjoying horror films in the future. And this has just enough of that darkness you want in a kind of embellished and fantastical Disney film. I do think the film structurally feels a tad too familiar to another live-action Disney film, and that is all I'm going to say. And there are some questionable things when it comes to the whole resolution and how the film closes out that just feels too easy. Obviously, you want certain things to happen, but it just feels like they took the easy way out. But honestly, even with those issues, Jungle Cruise is one of the best times I have had in a theater. I was excited going in, but the swashbuckling fun, the enthralling action sequences, the charismatic, charming characters really brought this one up for me. I think you should totally check it out. It is a must-see if you want a fun summer film, and maybe you want to see more like this. I'm giving Jungle Cruise a B+. And so those are my thoughts on Jungle Cruise. Whenever you do see it, or maybe you've already seen it, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And again, what Disneyland ride would you like to see a movie made out of? Throw it all down there. And if you've watched the video this far, it was your first time, thank you so much for joining me. And if you've watched this far, consider clicking the subscribe button, because if you're still watching, you enjoy the video on some level. Thank you so much once more. My review of Old is already up if you want to go check that out. And I'll be back very soon with even more reviews, and I hope to see you there. So until then, love each other, and love the movies.